I froze, the cool breeze brushing against my skin, suddenly feeling like a million needles prickling me. My heart hammered in my chest, threatening to burst free. There it was, nestled in the underbrush just off the trail, a small, black camera. Not just sitting there innocently either. No, its tiny red light blinked steadily, a silent but unmistakable sign that it was recording. Recording me. My breath caught in my throat. I glanced around, my eyes darting between the trees, searching for movement, for someone, anyone who might be watching. But the woods were eerily silent, save for the distant chirp of birds and the rustle of leaves in the wind. I was alone, or at least that's what I wanted to believe. The camera sat there, unnervingly still, its lens pointed directly at me. Whoever had placed it there had done so with precision, angling it perfectly to capture anyone who walked this path. And I had walked right into its view, oblivious until now. My mind raced. How long had it been there? Who could have put it here? This wasn't some overgrown, abandoned trail. It was a popular hiking path, frequented by locals and tourists alike. But why would someone leave a camera here? To record wildlife? Maybe. But the red light felt ominous, like a warning I couldn't ignore. I crouched down slowly, my boots crunching against the dry leaves beneath me. My fingers trembled as I reached for the camera, hesitating for a moment before I picked it up. It was cold to the touch, its smooth surface betraying no hint of how long it had been sitting there. The blinking red light mocked me, taunting me to look closer, to see what it had captured. I shouldn't have done it. I knew that, but curiosity, or maybe fear, got the better of me. My thumb fumbled over the buttons until I found the playback option. The small screen flickered to life, and I felt my stomach drop. There I was, walking down the trail just moments ago, completely unaware. But that wasn't the worst part. The footage rewound further, and I saw other hikers, dozens of them, men, women, even children, all passing by this very spot. The camera had been here for days, maybe weeks, silently recording everyone who came through. My hands shook harder now, the camera almost slipping from my grasp. Who was behind this? What did they want? I felt exposed, violated, as if someone had been watching me long before I ever noticed the camera. My eyes darted around the woods again, the trees suddenly feeling like they were closing in on me. And then I heard it. A faint crunch of leaves, the snap of a twig. Someone was nearby. My breath caught again, and I clutched the camera tightly, unsure whether to run or stay. Whoever was out there, they had been watching, and now they knew I had found their secret. The woods were no longer serene. They were a trap, and I had just walked right into it. The sound came again, closer this time, a deliberate step, slow and calculated. My grip on the camera tightened until my knuckles turned white. Every instinct screamed at me to run, but my legs refused to move. The forest had gone unnaturally quiet, as if even the birds were holding their breath. I swallowed hard, forcing myself to turn my head just enough to glance over my shoulder. Shadows stretched between the trees, shifting with the wind, but one shadow didn't move like the others. It stood still, watching. A figure. Tall, dressed in dark clothes that blended too well with the forest. Their face was obscured, hidden beneath a hood, or maybe just the dim light filtering through the canopy. My pulse roared in my ears. They weren't moving toward me, not yet, but they weren't leaving either. The camera in my hands suddenly felt like evidence, proof of something I didn't understand. I couldn't leave it, but I couldn't stay. A twig snapped, loud, and my body finally reacted. I bolted. The backpack thumped against my shoulders as I sprinted down the trail, my boots kicking up dirt and dead leaves. Branches whipped at my arms, stinging like tiny lashes. I didn't dare look back. Not until I hit the main trailhead where the trees thinned and the parking lot came into view. Only then did I skid to a stop, gasping for air. No one was behind me, but the camera was still in my hand. I stared down at it, the red light still blinking, still recording. My reflection in the lens was distorted, wide-eyed, and pale. What had I just stumbled into? A car door slammed in the distance, and I flinched. A family was unloading hiking gear, laughing, completely unaware. The normalcy of it was jarring. I shoved the camera into my backpack, zipping it shut like I could lock away whatever danger it represented. I needed to get out of here. Now. But as I drove away, my hands shaking on the wheel, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being followed, and that the cameras weren't just in the woods anymore. The drive home felt like an eternity. Every twist and turn of the road seemed off, as if I was being watched from the shadows of the trees lining the streets. My hands clenched the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles began to ache. The camera in my backpack felt heavier with each passing mile, a silent reminder that I had crossed into something far bigger and far darker than I could comprehend. When I finally pulled into my driveway, I hesitated. The house looked the same as always, its windows reflecting the golden light of the setting sun, but now it felt different, vulnerable, exposed. I glanced around the neighborhood, searching for anything out of place, a parked car that didn't belong, a shadow where it shouldn't be. Everything seemed normal, but that didn't calm the storm raging in my chest. I grabbed my backpack and hurried inside, locking the door behind me with trembling hands. The house was silent, save for the hum of the refrigerator in the kitchen. I dumped my backpack on the kitchen table, the camera clattering out onto the surface. Its red light was still blinking, taunting me. My laptop sat on the counter, and I snatched it up, determined to figure out what was on that camera. I plugged it in, my fingers fumbling with the USB cable. The screen flickered to life, and a folder popped up, labeled Forest Trail 07. My stomach twisted. I clicked on it, and a series of files appeared. Video clips, sorted by date. The most recent one was time-stamped from this afternoon. Me walking down the trail, completely unaware. My heart pounded as I scrolled further back. Days, weeks, months worth of footage. Hundreds of people, their faces clear, their lives unknowingly recorded. But then I saw something that made my blood run cold. A folder labeled Selected. I clicked it, and my breath hitched. Photos. Hundreds of them. Close-ups of faces, zoomed-in shots of hikers, candid moments captured without consent. And then I saw something that made my blood run cold. A list of names, dates, locations. My stomach churned. This wasn't just some random wildlife recording. This was surveillance, targeted, meticulous, and terrifying. A sudden noise shattered the silence, a loud thud from upstairs. I froze, my heart skipping a beat. The house was empty. I was alone. Weren't I? Another thud, louder this time. Footsteps, slowly, deliberately moving across the ceiling. My mind raced. Had someone followed me home? Were they already inside? I grabbed the kitchen knife from the counter, gripping it tightly in one hand while clutching the camera in the other. My legs felt like lead as I crept toward the stairs. The footsteps stopped. The house was silent again. But then, from the corner of my eye, I saw it, a shadow shifting in the hallway upstairs. Someone was there, watching, waiting. And then, as if on cue, the camera's red light stopped blinking. The screen went black. The silence was deafening. And I knew this wasn't over. Not even close.